right, so we're going to see what this is. It says Heidi is building a new enclosure for her pet chickens. The design is shown below. How much fencing will she need to go around the entire enclosure? So that means that we are finding the perimeter. So I'm going to write that down. We're finding perimeter. This is not area. We just want to know how much we need to go around it. So I'm going to grab a highlighter for a second so I can show you what I mean. We need to add 12 plus 9 plus 16 plus 32 plus 34. But we also have to find this side here, and we need to find the circumference of a semicircle. So we're missing some parts. So I'm going to come over here to the calculator and we're going to work on some things to see what we can find. So let me go back to my pen in case I need to write something. Hold on just 1 second. I just have to get this open. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and try to figure out this part out here first. Well, that one is fairly easy because if you notice, it's exactly the same size as this one here. They go exactly. So this is going to be 32. Okay. So now I need to find this tiny little missing part right there. So I'm going to look at all the parts. So if this part matches this part exactly, then I know that one is going to be 9. So before I do anything else, let's add up the numbers that I know. I'm going to start with 32. Then I'm going to go to 34. Then I'm going to go to 32. Then I'm going to add 16. And then 9. And then 12. And then 9. So all of those numbers give us 144, but we're missing something. We're missing the circumference, put a C up here, of a semicircle. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my formula sheet, and I know my circumference of a semicircle, or circumference, is 2 pi r. But this is not a whole circle. It is half a circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight that. Let me come over here. I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to divide it by 2 because a semicircle is basically a circle that's cut in half. So I'm going to take the formula for circumference, 2 pi r, and I'm going to divide it by 2 and cut it in half. So the only thing I have to tell my calculator now is my radius. So I have to find this little piece right here. Well, I'm going to do that by looking down at the bottom. Do you see this whole thing is 34? So I'm going to start by putting 34 there. Then I'm going to subtract the 16 up here, minus 16. Oops, sorry about that. I did that in the wrong place, didn't I? I'm going to do minus 16. And then I'm going to get rid of this 12 here. So I'm going to do minus 12. And that leaves me with 6. So this right here is 6. The only problem is that that is my diameter and I need it to be a circumference. So I'm going to come back over here. I need it to be a radius. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to put in the 6 that I found and I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to divide it by 2. So that means my circumference, that means this part right here of that semicircle, is going to be 9.4. So I'm going to come back up here to the top where I'd added all my sides, and I'm going to add 9.4. So that means my total circumference, my total perimeter is 153.4 4 feet of fencing. That's a lot of fencing. That's a pretty big chicken pen, if you ask me. If you have questions, please make sure to ask us. Okay?